Welcome to another Mag-Netics full body workout. For this session, we will be making use of our elastic bands. Placing feet hip width apart, grabbing hold of the band loosely shoulder width apart, roll your shoulders up, back and down, and with straight arms take it all the way up, overhead to the base of the neck. Good, we're going to go for 10 repetitions here, coming to a light semi-squat position. Good, taking the hips back behind the knees, keeping the back straight, trying not to arch too much as you come up to standing. So light tuck of the tailbone as you come to standing, pushing through those heels. Also try not to jut the head forward, so keep the head aligned with the rest of the spine, chin tucked in, pulled back, ears above the shoulders. Once you've done your 10 repetitions, you're going to keep your arms up high, nice and straight, and now we're going to shift our weight from one leg onto the other. Also aiming for 10 repetitions on each side, getting the heart rate up. Good, keep breathing, keep those shoulders relaxed, away from the ears. Once you've done your 10, you're going to get your arms involved, bringing your arms down to the legs up to the arms. Good. Getting 10 on each side. Once that is done, you're going to change your hand position to the ends of the elastic band. Feet are a little bit wider than hip width apart. And now you're going to try to take your arms up straight all the way back and down as far as you can get it. Again, pushing through the heels as you come up to standing and tucking tailbone under gently so as not to arch the back too much. Good, keeping the chest lifted, keeping those shoulders down away from the ears, keeping the neck nice and long. Once you're done with your 10, you're going to get yourself again to stand with feet hip width apart, and we're going to do our roll downs. We're aiming for 3 here, so come up slowly. Second time all the way down. And up we go, stacking spine 1 vertebra at a time. Last roll down. And last roll up. Good. You should feel nice and warm. And now let's get started with our strength training. You're going to place the elastic band down on the mat and bring your feet hip width apart to the center of the elastic band, making sure that there's equal length on either side. Now in a tabletop position, keeping the back straight, keeping the neck aligned with chin tucked in, keeping the shoulders down, you're going to pulse up for 10, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Side view so you can see how the back is staying straight, chin tucked in. Good. No pushing up those shoulders up to the ears, so bring them down, keep them down, keep pulsing. We're doing 3 sets of 10 here. Good work. Now coming up, pulling the band up into an extension, using only the hips. So we're hinging at the hips, keeping the back straight, straightening the knees and bringing the hips forward, known as a deadlift exercise. Good. So again, we're going to try for 3 sets of 10. You can make the resistance harder by wrapping the band around the hand. Good. Stay focused on keeping the back strong. Ideally, keep the chin tucked in with eyes gazing down to the mat. Keeping those knees also hip width apart and tracking forward in line with the big toe, second toe. Keep those shoulders relaxed, chest stays lifted. Give yourself a breather and then finish off with the 3rd set. Now we're going to move into our rows, keeping those elbows as close as possible to the waist. Again, making sure you pull the navel up to spine, also pulling the rib cage into spine, keeping the chest lifted, shoulders stay relaxed, really squeezing the shoulder blades as you bring those elbows up to the sky. Give yourself a breather. Rocking from side to side, release any tension. Get into place again, knees and feet aligned, strong long back. Into your second set. Making sure your neck is also nicely aligned with the rest of the spine, chin tucked in, gazing down to mat, working hard to keep those elbows tucked into the waist, pull those elbows up to the ceiling, and give yourself a breather when you're done. Release all that tension. Let's move on to the third set. Up we go. Keep your core activated, pull the navel and the rib cage up to the spine. Good. It'll help protect the back, so try not to arch the back too much. Keep that light tuck of the tailbone. Well done. Release any tension you may have experienced. Rock from side to side, shake it off. Come to standing, and now we're going to go into our next exercise, which is the bicep curl. Trying to keep the elbow as much as possible aligned with the shoulder, under the shoulder. The band is spilling over the knuckles. Keep holding onto the band as much as possible. So having the feet hip width apart gives some extra resistance to the bicep curls. If you want a little bit of a lighter resistance, you can bring the feet closer together. Once you've done with your bicep curls, we're going to go down into a squat, keeping your knees aligned, tracking forward in line with the toes, keeping the back straight. Hinge those hips back, keeping your back straight, chest lifted. Well done. Into shoulder rolls, again with some added resistance coming from the elastic band. The wider your feet, the more resistance you'll get from the elastic band. If you want a lighter resistance, bring the feet a little bit closer together. Into bicep curls again. Nice and controlled, slowly down. Try control the elastic band, especially as you come down to release the tension. Trying to keep those elbows close as possible to the waist. Trying not to bring the elbow too far forward as it's showing in the picture at the moment. Ideally, you want the elbow directly under the shoulder. Into our squats. Tuck the tailbone under as you come up, driving through those heels. Good. Tuck the tailbone under, pull the sitting bones together, suck them up to the belly. Really squeezing the glutes on top. Try go as low as you can. Good. Rolling the shoulders now. 10 times. Trying to keep your neck aligned. Try not to let the head jut forward. Keep those ears above the shoulders. Release any tension you may have experienced, rolling the head from side to side. Let's slowly take it down. Again, we're aiming for 2 to 3 sets of each exercise, so you're welcome to pause the video and add in an extra set if you feel like you want to be a little bit more challenged. You can do up to 4 sets of each exercise. Now here we're in our hands and knees position, quadruped position, arms directly under shoulders, knees directly under hips, and we're going to take ourselves into the cat and camel position, really release any tension in the spine. Into the next exercise, taking one leg forward and placing it in the center of the band. Slowly take it back. Grab hold of the band on either side of the hand. Now you need to grab hold of it and keep it quite steadily as we take ourselves into a leg press. Nice and controlled. Really feeling the squeeze in the glutes at the end. Keeping your hips facing down, so we're not externally rotating the hips. I want you to keep the hips squared facing down. Hold on to the elastic band nice and tight. Keeping the core activated, pull navel up, ribcage up to spine. Keep the neck aligned as well, trying not to drop the head too much or lift the head up too much. We're aiming for 10. Nice and controlled. And then once the 10 is done, we're going to lift the leg up and down. Good, still maintaining that resistance, squeezing the glutes. Well done. We're going to change over and do the same thing on the other side. The arms are working hard, so now keep the band down in control on the mat. So you really want to grab hold of that elastic band and make sure that you don't let go of it while you're doing your leg presses. Get into position and slowly move into your leg press with control, keeping the hip bone, your kneecap and your toes facing down to the mat. Remember to breathe as well, so ideally here you're breathing out as you do the leg press, breathing in as the knee comes in. Breathe out, breathe in. Good. You're aiming for 10. Squeezing the glutes on top. Good. Now keeping the legs straight and take the legs up and down, squeezing the glutes as the leg comes up to hip height. And slowly taking it down. Being aware of your posture, keeping the shoulders relaxed away from the ears. Well done. Again here, you can repeat this exercise another 2 or 3 times. So you're welcome to pause the video and try do it again. Repeat it 2 or 3 times on each leg, depending how you feel. Onto the next exercise. You're going to grab hold of the elastic band on one hand, the other hand is securing it in the center. Wrap the band around the hand once so you get a bit of extra resistance, and we're going to go into our tricep extensions, keeping that elbow close to the waist. Good. Once you've done your 10 repetitions, we're going to go into straight arm extension, keeping the elbow locked, keeping the arm straight, pulling the band back past the waist. Well done. Onto the other side. So one hand is in the center of the band, other hand wraps around, and let's take ourselves into elbow extension, opening up so that your stabilizing glutes also gets to feel a little bit of activation during this exercise, keeping the elbows close as possible to the waist. Extend, feel the muscles at the back of the arm. Right. Into our straight arm extensions, keeping the shoulders relaxed so it's not riding up to the ears. Make sure those hips are forward, especially in the stabilizing leg where you can feel the glutes activating. Well done. Again, you're welcome to repeat that exercise 2, 3, even 4 times, depending on how you're feeling. But in between, you're welcome to roll your shoulders, shake the hands, stretch it out. So this is the tricep stretch. You can hold the stretch up to 30 seconds. focusing on your breathing as well as you stretch. Next exercise. Straighten the legs out in front of you. Into our L-sit rows, relax the shoulders down, and we're going to twist as we pull the elbow back into a row. So it's a trunk rotation with a row. So we're going to do 10 on one side. Let your head and neck move with you, followed by 10 on the other side. Keep that back straight, so you're trying to rotate with a straight spine. So keep that chest lifted and shoulders rolled back. Tummy pulled in, rib cage down and pulled in as well. Try to keep those legs straight as well, trying to push the back of the knees down into the mat, tightening up the thigh muscles. Now we're taking ourselves into double arm rows, keeping yourself up into that L-sit position. So we did a low row 5 times. Now we're doing a high row, elbows out to the side for 5. And then we repeat low rows for 5 repetitions. Remember to breathe during the hardest part. So ideally, as you pull on the resistance band, you breathe out. And 5 high rows. Well done. Again, you're welcome to do another 2 or 3 sets, depending how strong you're feeling, how energetic you're feeling today. So you're welcome to pause the video at any time and continue doing a few more sets of the exercises shown. After that, stretch out, relax, release any tension you may feel before moving on to the next exercise. Making sure you have enough mat behind you, roll onto your back. Noticing the band is now behind the knees. Grab hold of the elastic band on either side, again very strongly. Keeping the arms up nice and straight, we're going to pull the band down, up above the head, and slowly bring the heels down to touch the mat. So here I want you to maintain a nice long spine, pulling navel into spine to press the lower back into the back, pressing the rib cage down, so you should feel the whole spine press gently against the back, and trying to maintain this as you do the movements, taking the arms back to touch the floor and bringing the heels down to touch the mat without arching the back. So your core is working very hard to keep the spine pressed down against the mat. Again, try not to hold your breath, so focus on your breathing. Good work. We're aiming for 10 of each. It's not about speed, so try to do it with control. Once you've done the alternating, we're going to just focus on the arms and take it down 10 times. Try to keep the shoulders down, set away from the ears. Your head and neck should be completely relaxed. So you can always stop at any time and roll the head from side to side, release any tension. Once you've done the 10 with the arms, we're going to do the same thing with the legs, bringing the legs down until the heels touch the mat and bringing them up as we hold the band with the arms keeping that resistance. Well done. Again, you're welcome to pause the video, do another set or 2 if you feel like it, before moving on to the next exercise. This next exercise has you wrapping the band around the knees. The knees are together. Wrap the band snugly around the knees. Moving on to our next exercise, we're going to slowly drop the knees onto one side. Elbows bent with hands relaxed behind the head. Now we're going to bring the one elbow to meet the top knee as it comes into the chest. Breathing out as you try to touch elbow to knee. Making sure the band is just above the knee so you feel the resistance as you pull the knee up to chest. We're trying to do 10 and then coming into little pulses on top. So it's 10 full movement repetitions followed by 10 pulses. Well done. Slowly taking it over to the other side. Opposite elbow tries to stay out of the way as much as possible. Good. And now bring the knee up against the resistance of the band and trying to get the elbow down so that they can meet in the middle. Remember to breathe out as you bring the elbow and the knee to meet and really pulling the navel into spine. Each repetition. Once you've done 10, you pulse. Another 10. Good work. Coming to center. Tuck the tailbone under. You can press into the abdominal muscles if you feel any tension. So adjust the spine, and now in this position we're going to bring the knee to the opposite elbow, again against the resistance of the band, pulling navel into spine and breathing out. Opposite elbow stays out of the way. Once you've done 10 repetitions, we move into our pulses, focusing on pulling navel to spine with every pulse and breathing out. Well done. Over to the other side, bringing the knee to the opposite elbow. Make sure you have adjusted your posture. Hips are nice and level. Let's go. Pull navel into spine. Breathe out. Lifting up the shoulder blade of the opposite side so the knee and elbow touch and center. Try not to pull on the neck. You're lifting up at the shoulder blade. Good. Into our pulses. Well done. Now you can stretch it out. Now you're welcome to jut out that rib cage, arch the lower back, get in a nice stretch, deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Bring the knees in to hug, roll from side to side. You can also roll the neck from side to side. Wherever you feel the tension, take this time to just relax and release all that tension. Work into the ankles, rotating them. Onto our next exercise. Opening up the band, placing them base of the foot and the balls of the feet, holding onto the band and bringing the elbows down to mat. I'm going to create some resistance, moving into our calf exercises, pointing the toes against resistance up to the sky, activating those calf muscles. Keep the shoulders relaxed, head and neck relaxed as well. Now we're pulling apart, keeping the legs nice and strong, keeping the resistance in the band. Pull the legs out to the side. Good. And then moving the legs down until you feel the back wanting to arch, and then use the tummy muscles to bring you back up. You can place a cushion under the hips if you feel that it's too much, or you can do it without the band. Band gives it a little bit of resistance, but you're really just taking it to a point until you feel that the back is starting to arch, and then you pull the navel into spine again to bring it up to center. Once you're done, you can give yourself a breather, and you can then do the exercise again for another 2 or 3 times depending how you're feeling today. Give yourself a breather whenever you need it. Next exercise, you're placing the band again above the knees, coming into a side lying position. Making sure that you're nicely aligned, tuck tailbone under, pull navel into spine and ribcage in. Legs nice and straight with your feet and your kneecaps and your hips facing forward. You're going to pulse both legs out, lower leg down to mat, upper leg up to ceiling. Here we're doing 30 repetitions. trying not to lose your balance. So your free hand was in front of you for support. Going into our single hand push-ups. Only doing 5 repetitions here, then going to our modified push-up. Keep the band above the knee so we can work into resistance with the upper leg, the top leg rather, coming towards the elbow as you come down. Good. So find the resistance that works for you. You might have to take that lower leg down a little bit more, straightening it out so you can feel a little bit more resistance as you bring that top leg forward. Here we're doing 10 repetitions. Good work. Over to the other side. Ensuring your alignment, so shoulders, hips, and heels all aligned, tucking tailbone under lightly, pulling the sitting bones up to belly, belly rib cage in, and pulling the legs apart. 30 repetitions here. Your free hand is in front of you for support. Bending the knees forward into our single leg, into our single arm push-ups. We're just doing 5 here for today. Followed by double arm modified push-ups. And the top leg uses the resistance of the band as it pulls up towards same side elbow. You can take the lower leg down a little bit more if you want more resistance. Well done. Again, you're welcome to repeat that sequence another 2 or 3 times, even 4 times if you feel that you would like more of a challenge. So you can always pause the video at any time and then continue with the next exercise. Here we're releasing the spine into cat and camel. From that position, we're going to take ourselves up into plank position, straight arm, bringing the knee in, followed by the other. So we've just done 5 repetitions on one side, 5 repetitions on the other side, and then we're going to alternate 5 times. Making sure that the band stays just above the knee so you can feel the resistance of the band as you pull the knee into chest. Good. Repeat again 2 or 3 times if you feel like it, so pause the video whenever you need to. Once you're done, make sure that you do relax, release the tension, find your breathing. Breathing in deeply through the nose, out through the mouth. Again, doing a cat and camel just to release any tension you may have felt during those exercises. Coming up. Hold of the band and taking ourselves into a single leg deadlift movement. Also a nice balance exercise, keeping the back straight, really hinging at the hips, and pull the navel into spine as you bring the knee up past the waist. If you feel you're struggling with balance, you can always take the foot down to touch the ground as you come up. There we go, it's showing there. Here's the modification. Or you can always have a chair or something beside you for support. Swapping over to the other side. Really driving through the heels, hinging forward, bringing the hips up. Straightening up, good. Shoulders above the hips. Really works into the balance system as well. So do what feels comfortable for you. Try do it without bringing the leg down to touch. But if you are struggling, then you're welcome to bring the leg down and touch the ground whenever it needs to. Keep those hips square, keep that back nice and long, shoulders relaxed, neck aligned with the rest of the spine. Well done. Release any tension. Shift your weight from side to side. Repeat it another 2 or 3 times if you feel. And then go into your downward dog. Release tension in the legs. Walk it off. Pressing the chest down towards the feet. Pressing those heels down towards the mat. Taking one leg up and over. Bending the knee back, really feeling a nice stretch into those hip flexors and bringing the leg forward at a 45-degree angle as you turn your waist and your chest, head and neck towards the knee, up and over, and pulsing, squeezing the shoulder blades back, pulsing more into that stretch. Now we're going to bring the hips forward, gently pulsing, stretching out our hip flexors. Bring the elbows down to the mat if you can. And again, hold that stretch or pulse further down. Bring those hips down towards the mat. Once you're done, take yourself back up into a downward dog position. Other leg lifts up. Externally rotate the hip, bend that knee back, feel that stretch in the hip flexor, and then bring it up to 45-degree angle stance. Twist towards that bent knee with the waist, chest, head and neck all turned, and now pulse, straight arms, squeezing the shoulder blades back, pulsing from that waist. And now we're pulsing the hips down towards that front leg. Bring the elbows down to mat to get more of a deeper stretch. You can either hold it there, focus on pulsing a little bit more, hips down to mat. Come up slowly. Take yourself back up into downward dog, pressing those heels down to mat, chest down to feet. Gently coming down into the knees again. Last challenge. Placing the elastic band under the foot. Grab hold of the elastic band above the knee, so you're still grabbing hold of it. Push through that front heel into our lunges. Good. Try to push through that front leg. Really working into that front quad, trying to keep a tuck of the tailbone as you come up the straight spine. Good. Just releasing any tension, so rocking our weight from back leg to front leg, stretching out that front leg. Good. Coming up into a low lunge position. Tuck the tailbone under. Up into a high lunge. And into a nice side stretch. Good. Let's take it over to the other side. Again, grab hold of the band, don't let go. And really push into that front heel, so you can feel the tension in the front quad. Go up as much as you can. Try straighten the knee as much as you can. Trying to keep the weight as centered as possible. And release any tension afterwards. Rocking from front to back. Good. Into low lunge position, stretching out that hip flexor, the back leg, coming to high lunge position, bringing your hips forward. Breathe in and out. You're welcome to pause the video again and redo that exercise another 2 or 3 times with your lunges before you do this exercise as we're coming to finish. Coming forward and back, wrapping your hands around a big ball in front of you and opening up the chest as you take it back. Good. Into our side stretches, up and over. Beautiful stretch. Legs nice and wide and come forward. Feel a nice stretch in the hamstrings. Bring the feet back to hip width apart and slowly roll up. Release the tension. Well done.